Hey, what's up guys, Tactiholics here, and we are hitting the range by request to break down the Sig P226 TacOps 9mm. So if you've been following the channel for any length of time, and I'll put a link below to our original TacOps video, but it was probably going on 4 years ago now that I got this gun, and we did an initial review of it. I've been shooting it, like I said, for about 4 years. The gun probably has north of 25,000 rounds through it. It is run incredibly hard, rode hard, put away wet kind of a thing, and it is my go-to handgun. I actually like it so much that I opted for the 229 package that was as close to the TacOps as it could possibly be for a smaller, lighter way to carry essentially this gun. Let's go ahead and break it down. Some of the unique features of the TacOps, starting on the top here, if you look at the front sight, it's a TrueGlow TFO, so you have a tritium and fiber optic rod in there that gives you great presentation of light throughout the entire spectrum. And actually, if you look close enough, I don't know if you can focus on that, the pin is starting to kind of work its way out a little bit. This gun's been thrown around, dropped, everything like that, but the sights are still holding up great. And then in the back of the sights here, you have standard Sig Light night sights. And what I really like about the sight setup on the gun is not only is that front sight the important sight, TrueGlow TFO gives you great light, great sight throughout the entire light spectrum. But if you look at the rear sight, it has an awesome kind of claw shape on there, or a good hook shape. So for one-handed manipulation and cycling the slide off your belt, your pocket, your boot, something like that, the sights work extremely well, and they're still glowing strong. Moving down, double single action gun, no safety, just a decocker, oversized beaver tail. You guys know that I'm a big fan of that. Looking at the trigger here, one of the best double single action, actually I'll go far enough to say it is the best double single action trigger that I have shot on a combat gun. We have the short reset trigger on the gun, as well as the short trigger, which is the physical trigger shoe, is nice and thin there. And I like to keep my trigger finger nice and tight to the frame of the gun. I feel like it's less movement, certainly less reach on the trigger than the full trigger shoe, so having a short trigger on there is outstanding. I have an accessory rail on the front, kind of scarred up from putting a flashlight on it for quite a while. We got the Surefire X300, complements the entire gun nicely and kind of balances everything out. Moving down to the grip panels here, we have a flared out magwell grip. This is factory on the TacOps gun. These grips have been worked over by Salient Arms. They did some stippling on there for us, so it feels like basically like a skateboard grip tape type texture with a bunch of super glue dumped on it. So super sticky. The front strap checkering is nice and knurled up. It really lets your hand stay glued into the gun where you want it to be and need it to be for shooting. Really the only deficit I've experienced with the magwell grips is if you look inside the magwell there, where the plastic grip portion meets the aluminum or the metal frame of the gun, there's a little bit of a lip. And for a period of time, I was having a slight problem with trying to insert the magazine, and the top of my magazine would hook on the bottom of the gun. Something that I considered actually dremeling out some of the metal off the gun to make it more funneled. I haven't done that yet, and it really hasn't been a problem, so that could have just been me getting familiar with the gun. There are some different companies out there now that are making more flared magwells for the TacOps and other 226 models, but pretty much that's what we're looking at. We'll go ahead and field strip it real quick, lock the slide to the rear, rotate the teardown lever. Nice thing about SIGs, you don't need to press the trigger to get the slide off. Go ahead and get the slide off. Your guide rod spring comes out, not captured to the guide rod, makes it nice and easy to clean, and your barrel comes out. But this is a combat gun, guys. It's built to take a lot of abuse. It's built to get run hard, be easily maintained, easily serviced. We got all of the 20-round magazines loaded up. Let's go ahead and do this thing. The 20-round magazines work very reliably for me. If you look here, it actually says made in the USA on this mag. When I first bought the TacOps, actually almost immediately following the initial video, so I couldn't put that information in there, but those mags were Italian made and they were stamped made in Italy. I ran into issues locking the slide open. I don't know if it was a mag spring or a follower design issue. I did contact SIG's customer service and they sent me 4 20 round made in the USA Sig mags, and they've been working just fine ever since. As you guys can see here, my guns have a hard life. This is just another day for them. But let's go ahead and get to work and see what this thing's all about after 25,000 rounds. That is why I love this gun. Let's go ahead and talk about the trigger real quick here. The double action weight comes in right around 10 pounds, so pretty smooth. Most other double single action guns are going to be roughly 12 to 14 in double action, but they did tame this trigger down to about 10 pounds. Nice butter smooth break. Call sign OP's behind the camera right now. You've shot this gun a lot. Actually, every time he comes out, he wants to shoot it. What do you think of the trigger?
Smooth.
Yeah, silky smooth. A little bit of just slack take up there, and then once you hit the actual firing mechanism for double action, nice and smooth, bring it back, bottoms out against the frame. The trigger resets about 1/8 of an inch. You can stop right there. You're eliminating a lot of slack, a lot of travel, super tight design. And the single action trigger, I want to say, is around 3.5 to 4 pounds, and just breaks like a pane of glass. I mean, this gun is hyper controllable, and it really kind of spoiled me for pretty much any other trigger on the market, including striker fired guns, but certainly for the double single action, the Sig 226 TacOps has got it going on. Silky smooth, about 50 yards off steel, both right hand only and 2 hands on the gun. The double action, 10 pounds is a lot of weight on a trigger, and one of the disadvantages to an antiquated double single action system is the inconsistency of the actions. The gun's inconsistent in and of itself, but having that trigger as smooth as it is, it really doesn't feel like 10 pounds to me. I'm sure you could get it lightened up, polished up a little bit, but it's working just fine so far. So one of the things that I will take a second here to point out is the controls of the Sig are incredibly big. It's a pretty big, heavy gun. I have big hands, so I find it to be very comfortable in my hand. If you have smaller hands, this hump on the back of the grip here might not be something that you find very comfortable. But looking at my shooting grip on the Sig here, and this is how I shoot everything, because I shoot thumbs forward to get a nice high purchase on the gun, you can see that due to the size of the controls on the Sig, your slide release is incredibly easy to hit when you have an empty magazine. You'd fail to lock the slide open. Your decocker is also pretty prominent, but also farther, it's set pretty far forward, so reaching that decocker does kind of require bigger hands and the magazine release. You want to be able to function everything on the gun with your dominant hand in any capacity necessary. So what I do when I grip the gun is I establish my two-handed grip, and instead of resting my thumb in a position where it could very easily hit that slide release, I'm actually rolling my right hand thumb out a little bit. You can see some space there. This doesn't create any type of problem or inefficiency with the grip of the gun, but it is something that you need to take into consideration when shooting the Sig, just because of the location and the size of that slide release. Well, there you have it, guys, wrapping up the request for the Sig 226 TacOps. I think the only thing that might top this is the upcoming Sig 226 Legion that we're going to get our hands on in the next couple weeks here. We're going to bring you guys our thoughts on that. But the TacOps so far for the combat-oriented SIGs, so excluding the X5 and X6, for the combat SIGs, I think it's the way to go. A full-size gun. It's obviously a little bit big for concealed carry. The Pitbull tactical holster is carrying the weight of it really well. Outside the waistband, inside the waistband, the holster does a great job for me, but it's just too bulky with the magwell and 20-round mag sticking out. But if you are in a position that you need to work or want to carry outside the waistband on duty or armed responsible citizen, the 226 is an unstoppable way to go. Hands down, in my opinion, I'm going to get a lot of hatred left in the comment box below for this, but in my opinion, it's the best, the epitome, the benchmark, the be-all, end-all double single action handgun on the market today. As always, guys, we appreciate you watching. We appreciate the fact that we could do this video for you by request. If you want to see us shoot something else, you have any more questions about any of the gear that we've shot, we're always happy to get out here and make more videos for you guys. Go check out a TacOps if you're in the market for a double single action gun. Probably one of the best, easily one of the best ones out there. Be sure to share the video around, like it, tell your friends about it, help us get the word out. We'll keep the videos coming for you every single week right here on YouTube, and we never quit.